better to do on a hot day than to prepare cool, as in cool treats for our dogs using some of my favorites. This is a Pupsicle from Woof is the company, and it has an area where you can pre-make a filling, or you can buy their pre-made nuggets, if you will, to place inside, and then you screw the lid on, and then the dog gets to lick and discover the yummies. So pre-mades, obviously, they're pre-mades. You just pop them in. You could put them then in the freezer, and then give them to the dogs later. Today, I'm also going to do my own filling, because they sell a little mold here, and so I've made up a little mix of theirs. They're mixes. This is not a sponsored video, but I do enjoy these. Their pre-mixes are flavoured. This one is bacon and cheese recipe, and it's a powder, and then you rehydrate with some water. There's a recipe on the back. And I have also a calming mix, which is, this one flavour is beef flavour, but it has chamomile, tryptophan, and theanine, sorry, I can't say it, but theanine, which helps to support maybe a little nervous dog, or when they're first coming to a new place, it might be kind of nice to have something that's calming. So I use that one. And then here's another one, which is a peanut butter and chicken flavour. This one is a pre-made ball, so you put it in the containers. And I generally put them in the freezer, but if I'm in a hurry and I want to give them to them quickly, then I'm just going to use the company, like Woof's pre-made one, pop it in the Pupsicle and give it to the dog. So the other one I like is these ones, which are made by Westpaw, and these are Toppls, Toppl, and they come in two different sizes, this one and a smaller one. The smaller one does fit inside the other one, so if you've got someone who's a bit tricky and you want to give them some other puzzle, you can put the two together. So what I generally do, and there's a hole on the side, so what I do is I take peanut butter and I smooth that over the hole. So then I could add any number of things, including liquid, and it won't come out of the hole. So I'm going to start by doing that. And it comes in on the inside, but you just want to make sure that you've got plenty on the outside. Okay. Then I went into my fridge and see what I had. I have any number of things here. I've got cottage cheese. This is grated squash from the garden, and then I have some honey. I have some, when I make my homemade treats, I have little crumbles at the end, so I've got some crumbles, which are the homemade treats. If you want to see my homemade treat recipe, then you can see that online as well. I have some grated cheese, some cheddar cheese, and I have some whipped cream cheese, and I have some yogurt. So I've got a number of different textures and flavours, and then I have some, did I say bacon bits? I have some bacon crumbles as well, which is always nice, kind of like for me it would be like a bonus finding that in my mixture if I were the dog. Anyway, so what you can do is basically put any number of different things. I might start with some cottage cheese and place that in there. There are these little, I call them tentacles, in the inside that you can put a cookie inside. I mean, have different textures. I've got some other things you could put in here, but I'm going to stick with these ones today, and I'm going to put a little bit of bacon bits in there, a bit of this as well. I mean, you really go to town on what you put in. Like this, we've got some cheddar cheese, just great. Whoops, grated cheddar cheese. Oopsie! Oh gosh, how messy am I? Okay. Don't forget you got that hole on the side. Okay, so we'll smooth that over. That's good. Okay, then I've got some yogurt. Put some yogurt in there. Squish it in. Now these are going to get frozen, and then I give them to the dogs from, obviously, whatever they find there is then cold, and it takes them a little bit longer to get to the bottom and have to figure out how to get the bits through the little tentacle things. Okay, then let's put in a little bit of squash. This is just grated squash that I squeezed, so the water content was a little bit less. It's quite the adventure, the food adventure here. Okay, and then maybe a little bit of honey. Yes, dogs can have honey. In fact, if you have a dog who has Bordetella, has kennel cough, it's actually a good support for the dog. They have kennel cough, a spoonful of honey each, like 3 times a day. It helps to support their healing. So again, I'm going to do some whipped cream cheese. It's quite the meal. If you're going to do this, of course, you can cut back on the food. If you're afraid of, the dog gaining weight or something, then you can cut back on the food that they're having, and then this treat that they can have can act as a snack during the day, or and then they get their meal at a later time. Okay, so that's good. And then I think I'm going to top it with a little bit of crunchies, which I have in the cupboard here. These are new for me. I got these from a company called Pupford, and they're little cheese puffy things. They're kind of cool, and the dogs seem to like them, so I'm just going to put them in the top. And then this whole thing will go in the freezer, and then later the dog will have a treat adventure. And the small one you can do similarly. You can change up what you put in there. As I said, I always start with this peanut butter on the whole. I mean, you can put more peanut butter in there. I'm not a huge fan of peanut butter, but I use it and the dogs seem to like it. But again, you can just change up what you're putting in there a little bit. These small ones fill up quite quickly because they're just really baby sized. But just for a little snack, or for obviously a little dog, again, quite the adventure. So let's see, we do some bacon bits. Top it with some yogurt. Good to have that probiotic, right? Want to have gut health and good gut health. Noises in the back there. There's Hope and Misha playing on the ground here. They may be hopeful they're going to get some of this later. Alright, I'm going to show you the. So this is the mix from Pupsicle, which is the Wolf company, and this is their the chicken and bacon mix. So I've rehydrated, if you will, it. And then, but again, you can put this mix straight in the mold like this and just have a simple popsicle, which then goes into the popsicle tool, the thing that the dog's going to eat out of. Or what I've been doing is make a little adventure in there. So put little bacon bits in there, maybe a little cheese, and then put the mix in. So you can make a little different mix in the mold. It's go to town. Be creative, and dogs appreciate all of the above. I'm going to top this with a little bit of honey, which sinks, but that's okay. But it's all going to freeze, so I'm not worried about that. Top it with a little cheese. Okay, you would choose now to do the play, huh? Okay, there's some ideas. I'll put down the information for the companies down in the information section of the video, so you can follow up, and they're not super expensive to buy, and so far I'm really impressed with the dog. So thank you for watching, enjoy, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye.